Here we go. Let's give it Death Touch and Lifelink. 1 mana, wipe your board. Are you ready to brawl with maximum carnage? It's Judith, Carnage Diva. That's right. Welcome to the Attic Mana Dad here. This is the channel where we play what's good in Magic, mostly on Arena. And on Arena, what's good frequently is Brawl. We do a Brawl video on a regular basis here on the channel. Today we're doing Judith, Carnage Diva, formerly Historic Brawl. Now we just called Brawl. I don't know if you know that. Yes, the 100 card one. And I've made it so that's completely Commander legal, completely EDH legal. There's one small caveat to that, and that is that on Arena they did alchemize Blood Artist. Womp womp. So it only goes to opponent. But let's take a look at the deck. If you're building this in paper, you can use the more powerful Blood Artist. And Judith is pretty fun because Judith does two things. It's a 3/4 human shaman. When you cast an instant or sorcery, that spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink. Very good for damage spells, so that's good for the red part. Of course, black is already really good at removal, so you maybe don't need the Death Touch part of things, but you can make a 2/2 red imp creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent, which is very nice. So we can do token things, we can do burn things, we can do spell slinger things. Judith can do it all, so let's take a look at what we've put in the deck. If you want to see this deck in action, you can skip ahead to the gameplay, and as usual, I will put a deck list in the description, and at the very end of the video, I will be back to tell you how the deck performed in all the games I played, not just the games I was able to fit into the video. Okay, let's go through what Judith has got here. So I love adventure stuff, first of all. This deck kind of has... This is my theme. It's adventure. Judith is adventurous today. She's running a lot of adventures. Of course, a great one here is Foulmire Knight, because we can get the instant or sorcery trigger with the adventure side. And we've got a little cheap creature with Death Touch. And, of course, Death Touch is another theme of the deck. Greedy Freebooter is going to die into a treasure, which is nice for us. We do want to be able to ramp to Judith as 5 mana. She doesn't really protect herself. So usually we want to have like a 1-drop spell ready to go. We cast Judith. We've immediately got a 1-drop spell. Make that 2/2 or kill something on the opponent's side. Get that value before Judith gets removed. Of course, we got Malakir Rebirth to protect Judith and make a 2/2. Shambling Ghast is a nice cheap creature. Cacophony Scamp. Dual Shot is a great one with Judith. 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. So for 1 mana, with Judith out, with Death Touch, Dual Shot kills 2 creatures at instant speed. Pretty good. And the Festivities, of course, is going to kill everything. Though it's going to wipe opponent's board with Death Touch for 1 mana. I mean, the 1 mana spells are really where it's at in this deck. Fiery Impulse is a nice one because it's got a little bit of a boost for instant sorcery. We're not always going to have Judith out. Lightning Bolt, of course, if you got the wild cards. Lithomantic Barrage will deal a damage and has some upgrades if it's a planeswalker that's blue or white. Outnumber is going to deal damage to target creature equal to the number of creatures you control, which hopefully is at least 1. And that will be, 1 mana kill spell. Play with Fire, Shock, Spike Field Hazard, Torch the Tower. You get the idea. March of Wretched Sorrow. Some black spells actually deal damage too. So giving them Death Touch. This already has Lifelink, kind of. So if you play this, you're getting double Lifelink, I suppose. That's pretty cool. Callous Sellsword, another adventure creature here. That's going to trigger Judith with the adventure side. Even stuff like Deadly Dispute. You saw we have some creatures that like to die, like Shambling Ghast, Greedy Freebooter. Of course, Judith is making tokens, so we're going to have some ways to sacrifice things in this deck. Horde Robber is a nice little ramper. Order of Midnight, adventure creature. Zulaport Cutthroat is Blood Artist's best bud. Cast into the Fire is a 2-mana version of Dual Shot. And Chandra's Pyrohelix, likewise. Dreadhorde Arcanist is going to be nice, so we're going to be flashing back those spells. Shieldbreaker is an adventure creature. Harmonic Prodigy, this is a fun one. Judith, as you may remember, is a shaman, so Harmonic Prodigy is going to give us double trigger. So we can make 2/2/2 red imp creatures that when they die, deal 2 damage. So that's going to really start to add up. You kind of, when you watch the games, you may be surprised how quickly Judith can really crush things. Kalane is a nice ramper / buff. Of course, we got the the complement of Arcane Signet, Cold Steel Heart, Ornithopter, Iron Crag, Mirror Convert, all these 2 mana spells. And then I skipped over this here, but let's not skip over it, because as I said, we're an adventure theme here. We got the Lucky Clover, a card so good it was banned. All right, if you're not going heavy on adventures, do not run this card, because this is a 2 mana do nothing card unless you've got a nice critical mass of adventures. But when you're duplicating all your adventures, it starts to become crazy value. Bastion of Remembrance is also Friend of Blood Artist and Zulaport Cutthroat. We've got the Witch here, the Poisoner, Morbid Opportunist. We're going to be killing a lot of our opponent's creatures, hopefully, so that's a good way to draw some cards and get some more action. Here's our secret commander of the deck. Pestilent Spirit, instant sorcery spells you control have Death Touch. We don't have to have Judith out. An opponent might be thinking, oh, they don't have 5 mana. I'm safe. No, you drop the Pestilent Spirit, you dual shot 2 of their creatures. They just go, what just happened? That's pretty fun. Preacher of the Schism is kind of on the Death Touch theme and the making the tokens theme. Woe Strider is a great way to sack the tokens for some value. Murderous Rider, we got the adventure, we got the removal. Bone Crusher Giant, of course. Demon Bolt, I just thought this was fun. You don't have to run this, but 4 damage, and it is like a 1 mana spell, or as long as you foretell it ahead of time. Drop Judith, 1 mana, zoom, kill something. Merchant of the Veil is an adventure creature. Minecart Devil's adventure. We've got the original incarnation of Judith the Scourge Diva, which is going to buff all our little tokens that we've got running around. And when non-token creatures die, it's going to deal damage to any target. So it's kind of like a Mayhem Devil. That's the one I think is searching for, right below it. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, it deals 1 damage to any target. Heraldic Banner is a little more ramp and a little more buff for our little tokens. Probably going to want to put it on red for the red imp tokens, but if you need to cast an Agadeem's Awakening and you need that extra black mana, go ahead and do so. Hagra Mauling is land and removal. And we got the Decadent Dragon. We got Torbrand, which is going to amplify all those red damage spells, all those little red imps. When the imp hits like a 4/2, and when it dies, it does 4 damage to the opponent. Torbrand is a great way to close out the game. Primal Amulet is a little spendy, but it's kind of just on the instant and sorcery theme. I'm trying it out. If you don't have it, put something else in. Put another cheap spell in, There's some stuff in here that's just about more fun, But we've got an adventure here in Virtue of Courage and Virtue of Persistence, of course. Two-Headed Hunter is another adventure creature. Hearth Elemental adventure creature. And then last but definitely not least, another secret commander of the deck, Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats. It's going to be cheap. Probably not going to be 6. We do have stuff that is our party creatures in the deck. We can take a look at that in a second. But Flying Death Touch Haste. Other creatures you control have Death Touch. Nice. Especially with these little 2/2s that we want to die anyway. And whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a Planeswalker, destroy that Planeswalker. So they got Death Touch for Planeswalkers too, which is not too shabby in the Brawl arena. So Phyrexian Tower, Edgewall Inn, Mount Doom. There's just some fun little lands in here. Castle Embereth, Raucous Theater. Oh, that's the new one. The Surveil Land. Pick up these Surveil Lands. Worth the wild cards. At least get one of each, I'm really liking the Surveil Lands way more than I thought. Okay, so let's take just before we go to the gameplay action, let's just take a quick look at our adventure creatures. We've got 1 cleric, and we've got 2 wizards, and 4 rogues, and what's the other one? Whatever it is, I don't think we have it, but leave a comment if I'm missing it. Anyways, Zagras, hopefully going to be a slight discount. It is haste, too. 5 mana, 4/4, Flying Death Touch haste. that, you know, gives all your creatures extra death touch. Not too bad. Okay, that's the deck. That's Judith. She's the number 2 most popular commander out of Murmurs at Karlov Manor. So hope that people enjoy this one. And if you do, consider giving a subscribe to see more fun Brawl decks that are legal and don't use alchemy cards. If you want to support that, that's a good thing too. All right, let's go to the matches. Gonna try to toast Tyler. Toast some elves. Roasted elves. We should be pretty good, in pretty good shape for this matchup. Okay. Well, we got our Pestilent Spirit, and, oh, okay. See how quickly people concede to Judith. For the record, I don't think you should concede to Judith. I think the power level of Judith is completely adequate as a 5-mana commander. You know, there's a lot more powerful things you can do in Brawl right now. But are there more fun things you can do than giving everything Death Touch and going to town? I don't know. Giving all your spells Death Touch and Lifelink. Lifelink can be nice against these aggro decks. Clothe is going to be hard to deal with because I don't think Death Touch does anything. Let's reclothe this. Yeah, 4/5 indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and green is less than 7, Clothis isn't a creature. So I guess we're going to try to keep the board clear. We got 4 mana sources, and we got the Pestilent Spirit again. So let's keep this. Probably just... Should I hold off on Malakir Rebirth? Maybe I'll play that as a 4th land. Play a Mountain. Pass the turn. We'll save Play with Fire. Opponent, Questing Druid. Perfect. Adios, Questing Druid. I barely knew ya. Zulaport. They'll probably remove Zulaport if they've got removal. And we'll drop Pestilent Spirit. Go off to the races. Spiteful Banditry. Yep. Okay. Primal Amulet could come in handy at some point. I'm wondering if we save Ratcatcher. I think we want to play Judith once we got 6 mana. And hold up Malakir Rebirth. Or Spikefield Hazard. Well, Spikefield Hazard is very nice with Pestilent Spirit out there. I might just Ratcatcher. Gonna hit. They're gonna make treasures every time they kill our creatures too, which is a little annoying. That gives them 2 pips. Play this. Maybe we should be running Spiteful Banditry. Doesn't fit in with the Spell Slinger theme. Go ahead and make some rats. Aggro Mauling. I'm actually just going to play that as a tap land. Looks like opponent might be killing the Pestilent Spirit. Might be time to Malakir Reaper. I don't know what they're scared of. They seem to be an all enchantments-based Clothis deck. We really need another mana source, though. We'll be eating our graveyard. Guess the question is, do we run out Judith? Anger of the Gods. Oh my goodness. Okay. Doesn't trigger Spiteful Banditry because it just exiled everything. Yeah, let's play Primal Amulet and Cacophony Scamp. Opponent seems to have a very tuned deck. I wonder if I looked up on the Brawl Discord the Clothis deck, if this would be all the same cards. That's probably the jankiest thing they played against us, the Circuitous Route. And the festivities. Alright, well... I guess we can play... Fine. Guess we can play this tapped, and we can play Judith and the festivities next turn, provided there's even a creature to kill on opponent's side. See if they ramp to play a bunch of big creatures. Yeah, oh, Kali, okay. They hit Torbrand. Is that our Torbrand? Is that their Torbrand? And the Foulmire Knight. I think that's our Foulmire Knight. Exiled by me. So shouldn't it be what's weird that it says exiled by Manadad? Okay, well, they're giving us a great opening to board wipe here. Oh yeah. Put another creature down. Perfect. Here we go. Let's give it Death Touch and Lifelink. 1 mana, wipe your board. Attack you for 1. Decline. If Judith survives, we got another kill spell here with Virtue of Courage. See, we too can play Virtue of Courage. This does just give you so much value, though, even when it's not out. Opponent's got 5 cards in hand, plus a Virtue of Courage. It's on an adventure. Yeah, okay, we'll go with Virtue. That's a little scary. And a Rex Sage, killing the Primal Amulet. Okay. Means they can smash in with Clothis again. Bloodstained Mire. And no blocks. Draw your card. Phyrexian Tower, eh? Sure. We don't even need to give it Death Touch and Lifelink, although we might want the Lifelink. I'm guessing a 2-2 to just chump block Clothis is probably... Does this have trample? No. Alright, well we're staying in it here. 12 to 11. They've got 4 cards though. This is zapping our graveyard. They get a Chandra. And even if we kill it, it's going to just be pinging us for damage every turn. Don't they just choose to wipe our board instead? Do I go face? I'm damage to an opponent. I guess, well, yeah, we'll go face. The Virtue of Courage will exile us some cards. Although, if we play those cards this turn, that doesn't help us. I don't know. There. None of these cards were that helpful anyway. We need to be able to kill Chandra. Ren's Resolve. Okay, they get Fiery Inscription, which will be able to kill Judith, I think. Got exactly the mana for it, too. Unlucky! Oh, it doesn't... Okay, well this doesn't help. Pretty sure they've got us here. They're GGing. Yeah, good game. Alright. Let's go to another one. Playing some Judith. Nah. Oh, up against Gishath. Maybe. Well, they'll probably outramp us. We could try. We got Kalane. Tap land. Yeah, interesting keep. We'll go for it.
There should be no risk management. Study risk-taking, not risk management.
Risky business.
Kept that Malakir on top. We can go Kalane. That's the turn. I think next time, unless they kill Kalane, try and... Ooh, darn it. Okay. Play that as a tap land. Should we ramp with the Heraldic Banner? Should we just... Let's just foretell Demon Bolt for now. Bit of attack there. Oh, it was reading Kalane. 3 mana. Are you going to ramp Gishath? Oh, of course they are. With Cultivate. Naturally. I feel like they have like one removal spell. That's why they hesitated on Kalane. But they're like, no, we're saving it for Judith. Okay, well. Arcane Signet into Heraldic Banner, I guess. We'll lose the treasure. So it goes, so it goes. Naming red. As I advised. We hit a land off the top. They're going to go exploring. And there's that Gishath ramp. One is very snow-covered. You know, those snowy dinosaurs. Rover of the Mighty. Very tempted to just shock that guy. Why don't I? Alright, we'll risk putting out Judith. They might remove it. What are you gonna do? Okay, they're just ramping. Any War Elves. Let's kill the elves. Make a 2/2. Play Zulaport. Swing for 6. There's Gishath. We could bolt it, or we could fiery impulse it. It's just like too insulting. Death touch. Opponent not giving up, though. A lot of opponents would have just given up after that. They have a board wipe. Maybe I should not have played Bone Crusher Giant. Deals 2 damage. I could deal 2 to face. Awakening Sun's Avatar. If you cast it from your hand, destroy all non-dinosaur creatures. Okay, let's put that on the stack. Demon Bolt can't go face, right? No, it can't go face. This can go face, so I guess we'll bolt this. Death Touch Lifelink. I was very correct in saying I should not have played the Bone Crusher. Commander back to the command zone. Zulaport triggers! Oh yeah! And the Imp. We totally had that in the bag. I didn't even see it. And that's the power of Judith, y'all. All right. Well, we got to see Judith really pop off there. That was fun. But if we're keeping it real here, the deck was 2-2. And one of those wins was somebody insta-conceding. Now, that may be a Tyvar player who's played against Judith before and knew I was just going to kill all their elves. So maybe that was going to be a win anyway. Certainly a strong possibility. But anyways, I hope you had fun. I had fun even in the game that I showed where we lost. So, yeah, Judith Carnage Tyrant is pretty good. In terms of changes I might make to the deck now, after having played it here for you and then played it some on my phone, I don't know if these little creatures are that great unless we add a little bit more sacrifice based things. And Judith is certainly easy to remove, so I might put in like, you know, stuff that gives her hexproof or more things like, where is it? Malakir Rebirth, more stuff that just brings her back, loops her back for 1 mana especially. But other than that, I think maybe a little bit more land and ramp too. We might be a bit short on that. I know when I was building this deck, it was hard to cut things. There's a lot of cards that are really fun to play with Judith. You know, and the festivities. Come on. Anyways, that's been this video. As I said, we have Brawl videos about once a week, hopefully once every 2 weeks at least, on the channel. And I like to cover, you know, what the really competitive Brawl players are doing from time to time too. So if you're into less of this kind of casual Brawl and into more of the competitive Brawl, definitely hit that subscribe and keep an eye out for new videos. Okay, that's all I got to say for right now, but there are fun other videos that you can watch over here, and I will remind you that Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it.